ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
The town of Howland lost much more than just a store when the local corner store burned this week. We'll have the details. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Farley. A traffic stop in Medway led to a high-speed chase, and 2 people are now facing charges. And the midterm elections are just days away. We'll take a look at some of those close races. Thank you for joining us. Those stories and more in just a moment. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, TGIF, happy Friday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. We had some fog earlier this morning with the visibility map looking pretty good for most of us now. So if you're looking to do some stuff outdoors today, the sun will help to at least allow that, though. But moving forward, we do have a small craft advisory in effect. This is until 7 a.m. Sunday is through the weekend. More gusty winds will be on the way. That'll cause a little bit of a headache for those that were hoping to get along the coastline, as of course the winds will stir up the ocean yet again. Radar and satellite is nice and quiet out there now, just some clouds off toward the north. Everyone else seeing some sunshine. We might see a few passing clouds as the day progresses on. Notice we have a system just off toward the north located right about in here. The rain will stay in parts of Canada. We're going to see a lot of rain anytime soon, although we're not in drought right now. Any kind of rainfall will definitely help things out just a little bit. But futurecast, just a few passing clouds today and tonight, though. But really, as we head towards tomorrow, more clouds on the way. Maybe a little bit of fog may try to sneak in later into the day on Saturday from the south to the north. But overall, looking like clouds for the most part. So the weather looking pretty decent in that regard. Southwest to northeast breeze at about 5, even up to 15 miles per hour today, especially along the coastline. So that's where the most of the gusty winds will be, although a little bit may try to get going on shore too. But for today, not bad. Middle 60s, partly cloudy, southwest wind getting up to about 15 miles per hour. Hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period. Mixture of clouds and sun, temperatures in the 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Authorities say a second person who was trapped in the fire in Levant earlier this week has now passed away. It was early Monday morning when flames erupted in a home on the Avenue Road. One person was killed in the fire and his father died this week while being treated at a hospital. Maine Department of Public Safety spokesperson Shannon Moss says 78-year-old Charles Daly died Wednesday. Moss says it's believed Charles' son, 29-year-old Eric Daly, is the other person who passed away, but his identity has not yet been confirmed. Charles Daly's wife is recovering from smoke inhalation at Maine Medical Center in Portland. Moss says at this point, the fire, which started just after 3 a.m. on Monday, is considered accidental. She says it appears to have started in or near the furnace. A total of 5 adults were living in the residence on Avenue Road. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help the family which lost everything in that fire. Country stores have always been much more than just a place to pick up groceries or gas up the car. They can be the center of the community where people catch up with friends or hear the latest news around town. That's why this week's loss of a special corner store in Howland is so difficult for local residents. Matthew Duronsik has the story.
You know, it's a devastating blow to the community right now.
These are the reactions from residents of Howland after this convenience store went up in flames Wednesday night.
I couldn't really believe it because, I just come outside and it weren't, and it was, so.
I just thought it was so devastating. Like, just last night it being up and then getting that phone call that it's on fire.
According to Howland Fire and EMS Assistant Chief Patrick O'Kane, a call was made more than 10 minutes after the store closed.
The business closed at about 9 o'clock. The employees left. It appears that the fire started in the kitchen, but that's under investigation right now.
The store has been serving the town as long as anyone can remember.
I could remember when I was a kid, so I'm 57 years old, so I know it's been there for at least 45, 50 years.
Residents and regulars could only stare in shock at the now fire-damaged property. For regular customers like Dale Dixon, he says the corner store is the life of the town.
It's going to hurt the community because a lot of people stop here for gas, snacks. The good cooks here, they cook pretty good food.
In the community as a message for owners Jeffrey and Mary Aarons.
Us as a store, obviously, we're all always there for them. We talk more on a regular basis with, I guess she would be our manager, but she knows that we're all there for them. They know that we're there for them, and obviously the community will come together to support them as much as they need.
If they decide to rebuild, there's 15 contractors right in this town that's going to volunteer their time to rebuild it for him.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
A Waterville man pleaded guilty in federal court to fentanyl trafficking. Police arrested 31-year-old Patrick Hansen in October 2021 after receiving information he had threatened another person. After his arrest, police found 7 packages of suspected narcotics on him, including one he kicked under the door at a police station. In total, police seized approximately 43 grams of a mixture containing fentanyl. Hansen faces up to 30 years in prison and a fine of up to $2 million. And a federal judge sentenced a Bangor man to 2.5 years for drug trafficking. 40-year-old Christopher Churchill pleaded guilty in April to possessing fentanyl with the intent to distribute. Court records showed Churchill's vehicle was searched during a traffic stop in April of 2021. During the search, police found what is described as a large amount of fentanyl or heroin. Churchill was sentenced to 30 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. A traffic stop in Medway led to a high-speed chase, and 2 people are now facing charges. According to the East Millinocket Police Department, shortly after 4 Wednesday morning, officers were conducting a traffic stop when the car sped off. Police say the car reached speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, eventually slowing enough for 2 occupants to jump out. They told police they were being held against their will. The pursuit went through multiple towns and lasted 58 miles. Eventually, the driver crashed and tried to flee on foot. After initially refusing to identify himself, the driver was identified as 34-year-old Brandon Bouchard of Presque Isle. Bouchard was arrested and taken to the Penobscot County Jail. He's charged with multiple offenses, including kidnapping and unlawful possession of drugs. Another occupant, 35-year-old Marianne Paul of Connor, was summoned for unlawful possession of drugs. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, the Travis Mills Foundation does a lot to help veterans. Now it's been nominated for something that would help them do even more. We've got the details when we return.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents, $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class, all because 83% of the time Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If you've been hurt in a car accident, watch out. If you wait too long to hire a lawyer, it may hurt your case. Call the twos and we'll watch out for you.
Lowry and Associates watched out for me and got me $150,000.
Janet Mills is crushing Maine families. Under her watch, Mainers will face rolling blackouts this winter, putting our most vulnerable, like seniors, at risk. And because of Mills and Joe Biden's failed agenda, Mainers will pay 72% more for home heating oil and $60 more each month for groceries. Mainers can't afford more of the failed Mills agenda. Vote no on Janet Mills. The top funder of Maine Families First is Thomas Klingenstein.
Feel the difference of alpaca apparel from the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store in Belfast. Stop by their ranch location to interact with these amazing animals and enjoy the beautiful Maine outdoors with your very own alpaca walk. Shop in-store or online today and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. With their incredible selection of socks, sweaters, hats, and more, experience the unique qualities that alpaca fiber brings with the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
When Cat Tracks in LaGrange wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Cat Tracks in LaGrange is your dealer for Hewitt lifts and Rolodocks, with the goal to get you on the lake faster than anyone else. This Veterans Day, join Fox ABC Maine as we salute and honor our veterans. Are you an active, inactive, or retired member of the armed services? Do you know someone who is? Then upload your photos on foxbangor.com/Maine Heroes. We will randomly select as many veterans as possible to win a gift card. Locally sponsored by Bangor Floral, Firehouse Subs, Overhead Door Company of Bangor, and Saliba's Rug Cleaners, LLC.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The Travis Mills Foundation is nominated for a big prize and a big vehicle. Travis Mills says his foundation is one of 5 finalists in the Land Rover Defender Service Award. in the category of Veterans Outreach. The awards are to celebrate charities that do so much for veterans, like Travis Mills Retreat for Wounded Vets. Because the foundation is a finalist, it has a chance to win $25,000 and a new Land Rover, which Travis Mills says would go a long way.
We have a lot of great volunteers that drive our families when they fly in. We fly in 8 families per week, and they fly from all over the nation. And when we drive them up to our retreat, it takes our vans and all that. But this Defender, if we do get the chance to win it, we'll be stationed in southern Maine. We'll make sure that people can get in it when they get here from the airport and ride up in it.
So here's where you come in. The public gets to vote on which of the top 5 finalists should win. Voting ends Sunday, and the winner will be announced on November 12th. Election day is now just 4 days away. President Biden and former President Trump are on the campaign trail trying to rally voters. Polls show key Senate races are up for grabs, while there are new concerns about threats against election workers. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest from Washington.
President Biden is trying to shore up support in blue states as his party fights to keep control of Congress, while former President Trump is predicting a red wave.
In the final sprint to Election Day, with control of Congress hanging in the balance, leaders from both parties are making their closing arguments.
This Tuesday, you must vote Republican in a giant red wave.
This is a choice between 2 vastly different visions of America.
Campaigning in New Mexico and California, President Biden arguing democracy is on the ballot.
There's too much political violence. There's too much intimidation.
In Iowa, former President Trump teasing his own 2024 run.
I will very, very, very probably do it again.
The balance of power in the Senate coming down to 3 dead heat races: Pennsylvania, Nevada, and Georgia. Across the country, growing concerns about increased threats against election officials. Philadelphia's district attorney with a stark warning.
Extremists of any type who are pondering interfering in any way with a free, fair, and final election better be warned. We have handcuffs, we have jail cells.
And in that critical Pennsylvania Senate race, Oprah says she supports Democrat John Fetterman, even though she helped propel the TV career of Republican challenger Dr. Mehmet Oz. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
The CDC updated their guidelines for prescribing opioids for pain, saying their 2016 guidelines were being implemented too strictly. Still, opioid overdoses claimed more than 80,000 American lives last year. Almost 90% of those deaths were from synthetic opioids. Correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
For the first time since 2016, the Centers for Disease Control have updated its guidelines on prescription opioids.
We've had opportunities to listen to, learn from, and collaborate with people living with pain, their caregivers, and their clinicians.
CDC officials found their efforts to curb the opioid epidemic left many patients suffering from chronic pain poorly treated. The study also showed Black and brown patients were not prescribed enough pain treatment as white patients.
Time and time again, research shows that where you live, what means you have, and who you are can result in far less access to evidence-based pain care.
The 2022 voluntary guidelines advise patients and their doctors to weigh the risks and opt for non-opioid treatments as much as possible. This announcement by the CDC just a day after major pharmacy chains Walgreens and CVS announced they will each pay $5 billion to settle lawsuits claiming they inappropriately filled opioid prescriptions. It also warns clinicians against abruptly stopping or rapidly reducing dosages, as it could lead patients to find substitutes. Today, many overdose deaths are from opioids, but it's synthetic opioids, especially illicit fentanyl, that claims the most lives.
We must recognize the challenge and the threat in front of us, rather than to later look in the rearview mirror.
The CDC makes clear these recommendations are just that, recommendations. They tell doctors to tailor use to each individual patient. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
After the break, more hospitals report being overwhelmed by the number of RSV cases in children. We'll take a look when we come back.
After 9/11, Jared Golden joined the Marines and served the country he loves. When he returned, he ran for office to serve the state he calls home. He passed legislation to cap the cost of insulin for seniors and lower drug prices for people across Maine. But Bruce Poliquin He went from Wall Street to Washington to serve himself, taking thousands from drug companies and voting against capping costs. Jared Golden, from here for us. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
In Maine, our independence, hard work, and freedoms mean everything, but not to Paul LePage. He's repeatedly attacked women's reproductive freedom. LePage supported letting states ban abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest, defunded family planning programs, and told extremists we shouldn't have abortion. He's a risk to our health and freedom, and it's why we can't go back to Paul LePage. The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Inflation, a broken supply chain, and high gas prices. Mainers everywhere are facing tough decisions about rising costs. Growing up as part of a small family business in Leeds, I learned what a struggling economy does to small businesses, jobs, and to working class people. And serving as a Marine in Afghanistan and Iraq taught me to stand strong for what's right in the face of adversity. I'm Jared Golden, and that's why in Congress, I'm an independent voice for you, taking on my own party to stand up for Maine families. I was the only Democrat to vote against trillions of dollars of President Biden's agenda because I knew it would make inflation worse. I helped pass new laws to rebuild our nation's infrastructure and begin to repair our broken supply chain. And I'm fighting Biden's failed energy policy, forcing him to drill more American oil to lower gas prices. I'll always be an independent fighter for you. I'm Jared Golden, and this is my family. I approve this message because when it comes to doing what's right for your family, I'll never back down.
I've got plans. We've all got them. But Bruce Poliquin's plans would put Social Security benefits at risk. He planned to raise the retirement age and cap retirees' cost of living increases. He even opposed allowing Medicare to negotiate cheaper drug prices. But Jared Golden didn't just plan. He passed legislation to cap seniors' drug costs and let Medicare negotiate drug prices. Jared Golden is the man with the right plan.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
How much is too much when it comes to sugary drinks? With more, here's ABC's Elizabeth Schultze.
New research sheds light on the negative health effects of sugary drinks beyond weight gain. Researchers measured the consumption of sugar-sweetened beverages of nearly 1 million Americans. The findings show that having 2 or more sugary drinks a day could increase the risk of dying from colon cancer by 9%. Artificially sweetened drinks can increase the risk of dying from pancreatic cancer by 11%. But good news, avoiding these drinks has added health benefits and can reduce the risk of dying from lung cancer by nearly 20%. The next time you go for that sugary drink, consider substituting with water or an unsweetened beverage instead. With this Medical Minute, I'm Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News.
And just a reminder, on Sunday, daylight savings time will end and we'll be returning to standard time. That means we'll be turning our clocks back an hour and it will be getting darker earlier. For many people, that also means dealing with mood changes and sleeping problems, what's known as seasonal affective disorder. Doctors say the disorder is the result of change in sunlight exposure and the body's own rhythms. They advise people to spend more time outdoors and to sit near a window with the shades open for a few minutes every day. If the problem persists or even gets worse, speaking with a mental health professional is advised. More hospitals report being overwhelmed by the number of RSV cases in children, and overnight a major development. Word that a new treatment has been approved overseas for the youngest of children. Here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
% increase in positive testing in children that have been admitted for upper respiratory infection.
Hospital pediatric beds are now above 80% capacity in at least 17 states. In Michigan, RSV cases jumped from 95 in September to more than 800 in October, and the cases apparently more severe than in years past.
We're giving a lot of support that often requires inhalation therapies, sometimes steroids, sometimes breathing machines like ventilators until the virus itself works its way out.
Officials yesterday confirmed a 6-year-old boy from Detroit died from RSV. His death, one of hundreds expected this year. 500 children and 14,000 adults die from RSV-related complications each year, with infants and seniors most vulnerable.
The most susceptible to complications and hospitalization and issues with it are young babies, so babies and children under the age of 2.
Meanwhile, overnight, doctors in Europe announcing a breakthrough in preventing RSV infections. The European Commission now approving a monoclonal antibody injection that protects newborns against the virus.
We've been looking for solutions to be able to prevent RSV for close to 50 years. We don't think that this is going to stop all infection from RSV. What this is really designed to do is stop RSV from being a serious disease and really causing those severe lung infections.
The treatment has not been approved in the U.S., but it could be approved by next fall. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
I am so fearful this winter for oil prices.
We can't go on like this.
Jared Golden's votes are definitely making inflation worse.
Jared Golden is not independent.
Golden and Biden are lockstep.
I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I cannot support Jared Golden.
We need to make a change. Maine needs Bruce Poliquin.
Bruce Poliquin is concerned with Maine people of all walks of life.
I know Bruce Poliquin cares for Maine, and I know he'll fight for us.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
Jared Golden and the Democrats by the numbers. The worst inflation in 40 years. Home heating, groceries, gasoline, all through the roof. 87,000 new IRS agents, $20 billion in new taxes on the middle class, all because 83% of the time Jared Golden votes with Biden and Pelosi. On November 8, stop the Democrats' war on the middle class. Defeat Jared Golden. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Janet Mills? 4 years ago, we filmed an ad here supporting her. But Janet has been a disaster for the state of Maine. She's driving up inflation, and her decisions have permanently harmed small businesses and our economy.
And she's bad for seniors and Maine families. Mills raised our electric bill, and she's pushing up home heating costs.
We need Paul LePage now.
We've got to vote for Paul LePage.
Tesoro Italian Restaurant serves Bangor's best pizza, pasta, and sandwiches. Dine in or take out. Located in downtown Bangor, across from the library. Open Tuesday through Sunday, 3 to 9, and for lunch at 11, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come in and taste what everybody's talking about.
60 years ago, Americans spent about 90 minutes each day eating dinner together. Now that time has dwindled to less than 12 minutes. It's something that can't be ignored. According to the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse, kids and teens who eat dinner 3 or more times per week with their families do better in school, are less likely to be overweight, are more likely to eat healthier, are less likely to get involved with drugs and alcohol, and have a better relationship with their parents. One way to get everyone to spend more time at the table is to serve them something they're gonna love. So how about sauteing a few thick-cut pork chops that we've dusted with some seasoned flour until they're golden? And to take them over the top, we simmer them in a sauce that we made by combining some orange marmalade, a splash of OJ, and a bit of Dijon mustard. Not only are these easy to make, but everyone at the table is going to love them. And you know what that means. They're going to want to stick around looking for more. And while they're there, they'll be talking up a storm. To get the recipe for our marmalade Dijon pork chops, head over to our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the perfect gather around the table way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Dunkin' is welcoming this holiday season with some new treats and a new drink. The coffee chain's holiday menu features a new cookie butter cold brew, a cookie butter donut, and a pancake wake-up wrap. Customers can grab these treats at any Dunkin' location nationwide. Not to be outdone, Starbucks is also rolling out its holiday drink menu and its new cups designs. Some traditional holiday drinks making a comeback include the caramel brulee latte, the peppermint mocha, and the chestnut praline latte. This year also marks the 25th anniversary of the coffee chain's festive cups. The 4 new cup designs feature a lot of reds, greens, sprinkles, ribbons, and a lot of Christmas ornaments on display. Starbucks is also adding a new sweet treat to its menu, the chocolate pistachio swirl. Now let's see what's in store for the weekend and check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, TGIF, your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home of Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. All right, we had some fog earlier this morning. We're looking pretty good in that regard now, as a lot of the fog has now gotten out of here. It's going to be a beautiful day with a lot of sunshine and a few passing clouds, and there's also a small craft advisory in effect. This will last until 7 a.m. on Sunday. Gusty winds through the weekend will stir up the ocean yet again as another system starts to get close to us. But overall, we're staying dry. We'll have to wait until Sunday night and Monday for a very small chance for a few rain showers. But for now, we're good out there. Just a few clouds to the north. We'll see a few clouds throughout the daytime region for us today, or the daytime period for us today, though. But we have the system right here that'll send some of these clouds in our direction, but no thick cloud cover until we have parts of Saturday afternoon as high pressure located right about in here begins to move away. But here we are, though. Some of these winds will get up to around 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the daytime period along the coastline. Everyone else farther to the north at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. We're kind of caught in between a calm period, though, with regards to the wind. But everyone will see some gusty winds up to 15, maybe even 20 miles per hour. And look at Bar Harbor, maybe close to 30 miles per hour as we head towards Saturday morning as well, as they're close to the ocean. And speaking of the ocean, you can see where some of these lighter blues right here, though, that indicates some higher surf being noted. Other areas, according to the buoys, seeing 3 feet wave heights. So this is why here with these lighter blues, why we have that small craft advisory in effect. But temperatures, we have been spoiled recently with temperatures that have been in the 60s, only one day in the 50s, even some days in the 70s. It's been very warm around here as our average high is 51 degrees. We'll reach for the middle 60s again today. Lower 70s Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Some record highs could possibly fall, so that will definitely be interesting. But really, as we head towards Tuesday and your Wednesday, some upper 40s return, then back in the upper 50s for your Thursday. Yes, I know it's November, and yes, I'm digging out the muggy meter again because we do have dew points that will be on the rise, so Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Getting close to that 60-degree mark, so you might notice that a little bit before we fall back later on Monday to your Tuesday and Wednesday. So just a 60-degree mark through the weekend, and that'll be about it. Hopefully, we can tuck this graphic back into bed. Well, otherwise, though, here we are, though. So a few clouds today and also into tonight. Really, as we head towards tomorrow as well, not too bad out there again, as we'll see a few more passing clouds, and really not too bad. The weather remaining pretty calm. Maybe some fog trying to sneak in as we head towards Saturday night, so we may have to keep an eye on that yet again. Your forecast for today, middle 60s, partly cloudy. We'll have southwest wind getting up to about 15 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 40s, partly cloudy, some areas of dense fog as well yet again. Southwest wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for tomorrow, lower 70s, mostly cloudy and breezy. Southwest wind up to around 25 miles per hour. Scott's Recreation extended forecast. Here we are, mostly cloudy on Sunday. That's also the time change. 2 a.m. becomes 1 a.m. Highs in the low 70s. We're in the lower 70s on Monday with a small chance for rain showers and a partly cloudy sky. And a lot of sunshine on Tuesday when we go to vote, and highs in the upper 40s.
Thank you, Devin. A spectacular sight over Niagara Falls the last 2 nights to celebrate the trailer release of the long-awaited sequel to James Cameron's Avatar. Last night, 600 drones ascended over the falls to create a dazzling light show. And tonight, never-before scenes from the upcoming Avatar, The Way of the Water, were projected over the falls. Avatar, The Way of Water premieres in theaters on December 16th. That's all for ABC 7 News at noon. Thanks for watching. I'm Susan Farley. We'll see you this evening on ABC 7 News at 6. Have a great weekend.
Joe Baldacci was born, raised, and educated right here in Bangor. He's promoted and supported hundreds of millions of dollars in commercial and economic development projects. He has fought to protect vital services from drastic budget cuts. In his first term in the state Senate,